Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. It's going to be another hot and humid day here. I'm over summer, just saying. My heart goes out to all of those in Texas. Um, what a disaster. And these things are going to happen more and more, and it's unfortunate because now there have been cuts to the NOAA weather system. And with those cuts, there's a lack of emergency preparedness for people who would get alarms or emergencies on their phones. Um, I watched Kristi Noem and Greg Abbott. Kristi Noem wants to blame the Biden administration for natural disasters and the loss of life. Well, the loss of life was due to the fact the emergency system didn't alarm people in that area, period. People wanted to blame Biden for Helene, seeding the clouds, causing natural disasters. But you know what? Even through all of that, FEMA showed up while Biden was in charge, and now there's no FEMA. You see, this is what has happened. People complained about Biden and FEMA because that's what you were told to do. That's what you were told to think. You were told to think that Biden was holding back care from people. And during the Helene situation, Trump shows up and he comes and he says, well, we'll do better. Biden's not doing anything. Well, what's better? Now we don't have alarm systems in place. Now FEMA will not come to the rescue. Let's look at another situation that we've been seeing as well. Air traffic controllers cut. The air traffic system going down here and there. It's not better. And Duffy, blame Biden. You can't blame Biden for everything. And you can't blame Biden for calling the herd. When you take away medical, when you take away food assistance, when you take away health care, vaccines, food inspectors, people are going to die. I honestly believe that this administration wants to call the herd, the population. Rural hospitals will close. Nursing home facilities, long-term care will close. Therapy for people who need therapy after surgery or after, you know, um, a severe injury, therapies will stop in hospitals and in long-term facilities. We have mass kidnappers on the streets, and now we're going to have more of them. These people are not for the good, they're just for a body count. And I've heard recordings of them hoop hollering about the body count that they've gotten. So it's going to be like a bounty hunting situation in this country. And if you're collateral damage, they don't care. They're sending people, human beings, to a concentration camp in the middle of the Everglades. There's more than one mosquito disease. There's more than one situation with having people in this situation where it will flood. What about the hurricanes that hit it? It'll wipe that out, and those people will be dead. Yes, I believe this administration is calling the herd. Cutting medical, cutting air traffic, cutting weather alarms, cutting FEMA, sending people to concentration camps, kidnappers on the streets. You know, children, the elderly, and the disabled are going to be hit the hardest. We already know that our criminal king wanted his nephew to just let his child die because he was disabled. He's made that statement about his uncle. Mary Trump, his niece, she has given a lot of information regarding how and who he really is. During this situation, he said nothing. He golfed. He's more worried about his fake, untruth social posts about his accomplishments, which are absolute failures. The food situation in our country is going to change. The availability is going to change. The cost, the inflation is going up more. We have more inflation now. He's calling the herd. And you are okay with it? The inhumanity, the craziness, the chaos, and the lack of information will kill people. The lack of hospital care, the lack of food assistance, no emergency warnings when things like this flood happens in Texas. Your hearts and your prayers and your thoughts and your prayers can go out to these people, but it's not going to fix the situation, and it's not going to make it better for the next situation, because they're cutting the programs that make it better for human beings to survive natural disasters. We are in hurricane season. There have been hurricanes that have affected us up here in Indiana, where we lost our electric for weeks. If they're getting stronger, then there's going to be more effect, more death, more destruction. Airplanes crashing, air traffic controllers losing their screens. It's all right. When they tear down our national parks for mining and lumber, that's a problem. I what's going on is wrong, and no matter how you spin it, twist it, or whatever, you can't blame this on Biden. They're still blaming Biden for their own mistakes, their own stupidity, and their own lack of caring for human beings and citizens of our country. It's not just getting the immigrants out, it's calling the herd. He's already said that he would imprison the media, journalists, for telling the truth. This is a problem, and it's becoming a more serious problem every day. You know, he even said that he was going to do something for one of the states that he was in during the Helene before he was president, before he was elected. He never revisited that place, and then he refused care when he was signed in. Y'all, this is a serious situation. You need to prepare yourself, your homes, your bank accounts, and try to be more self sufficient, because that's what he wants, because you'll die. I'm just saying. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance. Hate to be so bluey black, but that's what's going on. Y'all have a great day. Hugs from a distance.